So take a legal perspective on that ultimatum given by the governor of Ondo State. Jibrin Okutekpa joins us this morning virtually. He is a senior advocate of Nigeria. Thank you so much for your time this morning. Well, you have heard this and it's been on for quite a bit. First of all, when you heard it and when you heard the reactions that it's generating, what's been going on through your mind?
Well, good morning. I hope you are hearing me.
Loud and clear, please.
Loud and clear, please. Very good. I think there is a lot of misconception going on in the media. The first I heard was that the governor of Ondo State, His Excellency Governor Oluwarotimi Akeredolu, had given notice to Fulani elders to leave Ondo State. A lot of reactions are pouring in. But from what the Secretary to the government of Ondo State had said, and from the address he has rendered to the protesting people, the governor, from valuable records from that statement, seems to suggest that the activities of elders should be limited to a certain time and places because of the devastating effect it's causing the state. So to that extent, I do not see what is illegal in the governor regulating how elders should move in the bush or the time they should move, because we all have surrendered our liberty to government to regulate so that we can have security. So for me, I do not see the hue and cry that is going on when the man who is the chief executive of a state decides to say, look, at a certain particular time of the day and of the night, there shouldn't be movement because of the security implication. And we're all witnesses to this insecurity we notice in Nigeria. And so if the view of His Excellency was that Fulani should leave Ondo, I would have not been in support of that decision, because Constitution allows freedom of movement, but there is no freedom that is without limit. One of the limits of those freedom is the decision of the governor reasonably justifiable in any democratic society. And in the interest of public safety, public order, public security, your freedom to move anyhow can be restrained by governmental direction. And we have witnessed that so many times in Nigeria. So I do not see what is the hue or the harabalo about what the governor of Ondo State had done. Mark you, the governor of Ondo State is not just a lawyer. He's a senior advocate of Nigeria, past president, my president. I do not think that he would have woken up one day to say, Fulani elders should leave Ondo State.
Of all of the other conversations, you know, that he has generated. The argument of some of them is that the Constitution permits everyone in any nation, even though you have mentioned it, you may want to stress it a little further. The Constitution permits anyone free movement in any part of the country. So the argument of some of those leaders, as well as the presidency, is that people have the right to move around the way they like. So that on the one hand, and that statement of the presidency, what do you make of it? What angle do you see the presidency coming from?
I think I see the presidency coming from angle of primordial partisan interests. And I think the earlier we realize that Nigeria belongs to all of us and avoid taking ownership of any particular ethnic grouping who appears to be constituting some element of nuisance to the security of the state, the better for us. We need to borrow a leaf from what goes on in other advanced countries. We are talking about the peace and security of Ondo State, the indigenes of Ondo State. As you heard in the report, somebody said his wife was raped. The duty of government is to ensure that lives and properties are secured. Instead of jumping to the media and joining political issues, whatever political disagreement they may have had with the governor of Ondo State, I was expecting the federal government to first of all find out what indeed did the governor of Ondo State say, and indeed what is the situation in Ondo State. We are all living witnesses to the daily infractions of our fundamental right to freedom from fear. And so I do not believe that the statement from the presidency had completely answered the fear of the people of Ondo State, who elected Akeredolu to be their governor. As of today, whether anybody likes it or not, Akeredolu is the governor of Ondo State. He was elected by his people. He's the chief executive officer of the state. He knows what the state wants. The reason why we are complaining the way we are complaining in Nigeria is because there are no consequences for violation of our laws. There is no free movement of cattle anywhere. We have the grazing laws, we have the law that restricts where cattle are to go, even in the northern Nigeria. But because nobody seems to show obedience and fidelity to this law, everybody moves anyhow they like. It's only in Nigeria, for instance, that you can see herders carrying their cattle on the road, stop movement of persons without any consequences there. So we must go back to the basis. Do we have laws dealing with movement of cattle in the bushes, government reservation area, grazing laws, and so on and so forth? In Benue, for instance, that they have a law that dealing with open grazing law, and that has caused a lot of havoc. But the governor insists that that law must be respected. I think there is a need for both parties, both the cattle rearers, the herders, the Ondo government, and the federal government to sit down and look at the laws. What does the law say? Is freedom all that limited, or there is a limit to which you can go in exercising of your freedom? Because even cattle rearers are engaging in business, and every business must have some laws that back it up. So let us not begin to encourage lawlessness in the name of just being at the edge every time a statement is issued as if it's targeted against a particular person. Because most Nigeria, other than even Hausa Fulanis, are also engaging in cattle rearing. So we must look at these things. Let them trade, but within the confines of the law. Let there be no insecurity. If there is no insecurity, like we used to have in those days, you see Fulani man coming with his cattle, you sit down, you share drinks, you share this thing. But today, some people looking like them, I'm not saying because I have no empirical evidence, but some people carry AK-47 and people's lives are being lost. So we must find solution to this. And Nigeria are saying government at the center must do something about it. So the Ondo experience, the example, is what I can say, an attempt by the governor to enforce the law of the state. And if laws are being enforced, we must encourage enforcement of law.
You see that clause where it says underage grazing is outlawed. Is it that the younger ones can't be seen accompanying maybe their elder ones, or they shouldn't be alone? Or how do you see that playing out?
See, even in Nigeria, we have a law that a minor, a person who is underage, cannot do business. He cannot enter into a contract. How will an underage person control the cattle on the road? Is even hazardous to their lives. Instead of looking at, because this underage Hausa Fulani or the herders are also covered by the Child Rights Act, which prohibits the child's labor. Are we looking at that angle? Are they not being engaged in child labor? Yes, it's their tradition. But in doing so, must you allow underage person to go around? What if they are harmed? So I do not, with respect, see the halabalo. All that we need to do is to be patriotic, nationalistic, sit down together, agree on how to live and how to enforce our laws. Let there be obedience to law and order. And then nobody will complain. But if some set of persons appear to be engaging in lawlessness and it appears to have some support from some quarters, then Nigerians will begin to raise eyebrow. And I think that's the situation.
All right, then, Mr. Jibrin Okutakwa, Senior Advocate of Nigeria, thank you very much indeed for your perspectives this morning.
Thank you, Chamberlain, and thank you, Channels, for inviting me.